So this should be a pretty quick video on a particular app that I've been using called Remind. This is an app that you can download from the App Store. If you look on my screen, it is the app that is on the far right column at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now what I have here is a list of students who are in my sleep and dreaming class this summer. I have 2 summer classes listed, adolescent development and sleep and dreaming. You can go to either class by clicking on the class to the left. Creating a class is really easy. You just set it up and put the title of the class that you want to put, and the students will see that. Adding students is pretty easy as well. You can send them an email to add themselves to the class. You can have them text to add. If you go to the people tab, you'll see you can add people manually, you can share a link, and then you can also show people how to join. So if you click show people how to join, you can actually do this in class, tell people to take out their phone, take out their iPad, they can enter in a particular number and then text that number, and what happens is any announcements that they get will be on a text message and look like it's being texted from a phone. You can also at the bottom here, if the students can't text, you can have them email the instructions, and you can show them the instructions this way. And essentially what they do is they can choose to have the class added in a way that they get information through text or they get information through email. They actually don't need to download the app, although downloading the app can make things easier. It's totally up to you. But these are kind of fun ways that they can, or different ways that they can join in the class. So here you can see that you can look at who all is in your class, including yourself. Any files that you put on the app, you can access here, and any messages that you have, announcements or conversations you have, you can go ahead and view right here. So I'm going to show you guys how to do an announcement, and this is something that you send to the entire class, or you can send individually. This is something that the students will see immediately. And so no matter what page you're on, you'll notice at the very bottom right, there's a little pencil. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to ask you what you want to do. Do you want to do an announcement or a conversation? In this case, I want an announcement, and I will talk about conversation in a minute. So the announcement will ask you who all do you want to receive this. So in this case, I have 2 classes listed. I could choose everyone in both classes, or I can choose one class. I can decide if students get it, if teachers get it, if you have parents on here, which you won't have, but this is really good for K-12 education, then you can have parents actually receive messages too. In this case, I want everybody who's listed to receive them, and I'm going to do this for the sleep and dreaming class. So here you can click next, and what this does is it asks you what kind of things do you want to put on the announcement. Do you just want text? Do you want to add a photo? Do you want to add a file, a voice clip? You see here you can actually access files from Google Drive, Google Classroom, Box, Flipgrid, SurveyMonkey, whatever you want to do, and Quizlet's also a neat app too. In this case, I just want to type a message, and I want to remind them to fill out their sleep diary for this week. And so I'm going to have this message short, brief. You notice here that you only have so many characters at the bottom right, and it'll tell you how many characters you have. And this is just a good way to get students to do something, to notice something really quick. And this is really good too if you have a class cancellation or a change in venue or something like that that you want them to know about immediately. So I'm going to say keep filling out your sleep diary for this week. And then I'm going to hit, and I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and send. Now, if you didn't want to send this right now, if you wanted to schedule your messages or announcements and have them, if you want to sit down and schedule announcements for the entire semester and have them scheduled to send out at certain times, you could click schedule message, and you can have it sent tomorrow. You can have it sent next week, next month, whatever you like. In this case, I want to send it now. So I'm going to hit send, and you'll see here that it gets dropped in here. These are all the announcements that I've made. Here you can see this particular one sent on Tuesday at 7:18 a.m. A particular student liked this or hearted this message. You can heart your own messages by pressing it. If you don't want to, if you want to if you want to unheart it, you just press it again and see that you can do that. So this is how you would send an announcement. Students get it. Notice here that I can send a link. I do live lectures, and so I show them the Zoom link that they can just click on and access the live stream lecture. So that's announcements. It's really, it's a really fun, easy way to get them to get that information really quickly. The next thing I want to show you how I use this particular app is with a conversation. And so you can click the pencil, and at the bottom, conversation, you can actually send as a group. Members of the group can actually reply back, and so you can actually have a conversation. If you click it, you'll notice that you can select particular people, select recipients to have this conversation. And I did a conversation yesterday. I started one that everyone could see. The entire class could see. I posted an article, it was a news article about a research article that recently came out about looking at sleep in humans and how we didn't realize that humans could actually sleep with one hemisphere at a time. We knew that dolphins and birds could do it, but turns out that there's some evidence that humans can do it too. And so I was like, ooh, that's neat. It's relevant to what we're talking about now. And so I went ahead and posted this link. You can also post voice clips. You can post pictures, whatever you'd like. And it's just to start the conversation. As you can see here, a particular student replied back, and I continued with a follow-up question, and any student on here can reply and continue this conversation. And this is a fun way to do things kind of in real time, especially if you have something that's really relevant or you want them to see something and talk about it as a class or as a group, however it might be. So there's just a few different ways to use the Remind app. I personally really like it. I'm super curious if you guys are using it and what you're doing, and I would love to continue the conversation about this particular app. So if you'd like to keep going and talk about it, please send me an email, and I'm happy to go into other ways that I'm using it, and I'd like to hear how you're using it as well.